Hello, welcome back. The time has come to clean up my Atari Mega ST2, which I've had for a long time. Tie it up and get rid of it. I'm going to sell it because I've got a STE and I kind of need the space, and it's not doing anything, it's sat there, and that really bugs me. So I'm going to take a few moments to clean it up. I know it works okay, but I'm going to properly tart it up. It's been in storage for a long time, so really I need to do things to it to bring it back round again, because it doesn't look good enough to sell at the moment. Just need to get rid of these batteries. Oh, they're really jammed in actually. Let me see if I can. Okay. These are rechargeables actually, didn't realise that. Okay, cool. So that battery compartment looks okay. I'll just put that back. Well, you can see the discoloration there, and there's only so much I'm going to do with this. I'm going to clean it up as best I can, but not go too nuts, because yeah, time constraints, and to be honest, yeah, it doesn't look the best, but if I can just sort of clean it a little bit cosmetically, it's alright. What's important is that it works. It works reliably. The drive is good on it. Perfect. Now, the one issue with this really, and it's a cosmetic thing, is this. So there's a bit of tape that holds this in. So unfortunately that metal plate there got snagged. So I've got to find a way of reattaching that or bending that back somehow, because that doesn't look good. I know you can get replacements, but yeah, fine. I'd like to give that a go and see if I can make that look better. At least stick it down. What else we got? As you can see there was a weird lead floating around. That is for an external floppy drive, which was a bit of a bodge, but actually it worked quite well for a while. I didn't have an external adapter that goes into the floppy port, which is a stupid connector. Didn't have one of them, but I did have a ordinary one. In fact, I used a Gotek for a while, but what I did, this was the floppy disk that I used with that weird connector. I mean, it's real bodge, but I needed to power the thing, so I just used that to power it rather than have an external power supply. Just was a bit neater really, but yeah, it doesn't look the best anyway. So I'm going to get rid of that, because obviously I'm not going to be selling it with a weird random lead sticking out the back. So we'll come on to that later. So the first thing is the cosmetics. So let's get some cleaner on it. So I'm using some of this stuff, which is just a cream cleaner. It says cream cleaner. It's actually luminous in colour, which is a bit odd, but it works really nicely. So look how luminous that is. You don't need much. You just sort of dab it on where you need it, and then kind of work it in to take the dirt off. It's pretty good. Yeah, it works remarkably well, and it's not greasy afterwards. Yeah, it's definitely suffered from discoloration. It's odd because the base is a much lighter colour, but it is what it is. Right, let's carefully get this off. So I've got a sharp knife. I'm just sort of pushing it there, so I don't want to bend it too much. Hang on. So what I'm going to do is take this off very gently. Okay, good. Whoops. And then that's obviously a bit bent, but that was very bent. So what I'm going to do now is, on a flat surface, try and bend that down gently. Yeah, there's actually a kink in there as well, so I need to hammer that out. So I think what happened was that kink there sort of allowed that to twist, and it's actually twisted that way, so I'm going to have to try and gently redo it and sort of, well, I guess in some ways hammer it down, but not hammer it down in the sense of using a bloody great big hammer. I might just see if I can fettle that a bit. So that kink there, I'm using some pliers and just that little edge there to gently squeeze it. I've kind of pretty much taken that out now. That looks a lot better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. It still needs a bit more. Don't want to bend it too much. I just want to try and, yeah, it's slightly bent that way. Okay, it looks a lot better. So the acid test is if we put it on the flat surface, you see it's slightly bowed. Yeah, so if we do that, you can see it's sticking up a bit, so it needs a bit of a twist. Just the tiniest one. Cool. So I think that's good. So if that was stuck down with some, maybe it's slightly proud there. If that's stuck down with some glue, that's going to look all right. Excellent. So I'm going to turn it over and use some alcohol to try and get rid of some of the residual glue, because obviously the glue itself is a little bit proud. It's kind of sticking up a little bit in clumps. It's not going to help it be flush. Now we've got to get the glue off the other side of the label. It really is caked on there. This side, I think what happened was that this side actually had additional glue. I think somebody, I'm not sure, I don't remember trying to glue that down. I just put some tape on it so it didn't get worse, but maybe it was, I tried to sort of stick it down a bit more with some additional glue or something. There seemed to be a lot more on this other side. It's better. So with some glue to hold it down, I think that's going to look a lot better. He says it's actually got glue on it. I've just stuck it back on. Anyway, yeah, I think it's going to look all right. Cool. Let's get sticking. Using some general purpose adhesive, and a trick I think is to use very little. Okay, that looks spot on. So I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I think I need to put we need to put anything on there in terms of weights? I'm not sure I do. Just let it dry, I suppose. Yeah, I think that would be fine. I got the screws out the bottom, so let's take the lid off and have a look. Just stuff out of the way a little bit. There's a clip there for the battery, the real-time clock, and there it is. Sadly not much to see there. Yeah, so it has this horrible tab arrangement. I've actually removed those that you twist. It's just awful. I can't stand it. Really bad bit of design there from Atari. Don't like it at all. There's a little bracket there, and like I say, I've actually removed all of those or straightened them up because I was going to do some other work on this, but I'm not going to bother anymore. So that comes out there. And that can come past the floppy drive. Whoops, careful. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, it's not a bad bit of kit. Now, my modification there is a simple one to provide that external floppy. So I don't know if you're interested, but that's the connection there. So it actually provides a +5 and +12 volts and a couple of grounds. So it actually works quite well. So a useful little connector. Obviously I'm not going to keep it with that. I mean, anyone who buys it might want that, but I'm just going to remove it. Sadly I can't bring myself to sell it like that. So yeah, so this is a Mega ST2 board. It doesn't have easily upgradable memory. That's one of the problems with it. So there is actually I think there's another screw in there. Let me have a look. There's one more screw I think left on the drive. There's actually the mounting plate there. Oh no, I'll tell you what it is. So that comes off. Mounting plate's actually there. There we go. So you can take that off, but the memory is underneath there. And unfortunately, because of the way they've designed it, this has 2 meg, but there's no easy way of upgrading it. There's not even the unpopulated sockets for additional memory, so it's just a bit annoying. It's a bit cheapified, to be honest. I don't like it. So I had every intention of upgrading the memory, but I never got round to it. So you know what? I just kind of consult this on. It's in great working condition. I mean, it works really well. A little tiny bit dusty there. So I'll just give it a dusting. And there's not much else to see really. One thing I did want to do is just blow out the fan to try and make sure. So there's, just so you can see there. So that little pin there can help to align the floppy drive. There we go. So that sits quite nice. So what's the best way of doing this? If I put that on there like that. So before I do sell it, I'm going to take some pictures of what it looks like inside, because it's some pretty good neck. So if I can just put some. Actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, there's nothing coming out of there. That's really good. So, I mean, it was clean before. It's just got a little bit of dust, and obviously it's been sat around a bit, so it's naturally going to get a bit dusty. Lift the floppy drive up. I'm going to line these horrible tabs. The trick is to get them into this back plate we move that forward, oh, there's a little bit of wrestling. There's actually another one down there. Hang on. And the last one is down there. Oh, that's it. Bit of a pain in the ass. So anyway, because I'm going to set it on, I am actually going to twist those back into position carefully. If I was going to keep it, there's no way I'd do that because it's just a pain to move these things around. Where the heck has that thing gone? How the blooming... Has it fallen off the desk? Oh yeah. Okay, so I've got a really useful pair of pliers here. So you can just... Oops, it's got to go the other way. So just gently twist those. So it's time for the Mega to go. But before I close it up, I've actually made some what I think is pretty flipping sexy packaging. So check this out. So I've got a box here that I've modified to size, and there it is. There's a nice bit of bubble wrap there, and some styrofoam, and some more bubble wrap there. It's all styrofoam, bubble wrapped and lovely. And check that bad boy out. Oh my god, that is some nice packaging. Thing is, it's worth going the extra mile with the packaging on these things because they're very fragile. As anyone into retro tech knows, the chances of survival and postage are not 100%. So especially with something like this, the plastics that they use, that particular vintage of plastic, is just not great. Anyway, so see you later, Atari, and hopefully you can go to a good home. Cheers, see you next time.